Hi everyone, and happy to be here today. And I just want to dive into a topic that, as a finance practitioner, usually frustrates us in so many ways. That's most finance managers, most finance directors, and even CFOs included. So, one of the things that I know, and something that I have lived and I have seen, is the issue of why our month end close takes so long. And so I just wanted to dive in and look at why is it that in the non-profit financial reporting, one of the biggest challenges that we face as heads of finance is the issue of month end close. And so I wanted to talk about this and just look at what is it that I see from an experience point of view causes this, and what have I done or what can be done to fix it. So if you are experiencing the same, if you are a non-finance, if you are a finance leader who is experiencing delayed reports, delayed board packs, delayed data because your team cannot just close your month in time and have the correct reports to the correct people, then maybe you want to listen to this, and probably after this you may learn one or two ways of how you can fix this problem in your own organization. If you're new to my channel, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rosa Dem, and I've spent almost 2 decades of my career working in nonprofits, both local and international, steering these organizations towards reporting clarity, working with internal controls, managing grants and donor-funded programs, and just making sure that our board members have the data that they need for decision making, and that all the funds that we are receiving are being used towards the betterment and improving, towards working for our mission and the betterment of the organization as a whole. So I've seen this month end close issue uh, really be a thorn for many finance practitioners, accountants included. And so I am challenged to just come here and share my knowledge on how I have navigated this in being a director of finance in some of these organizations. So let's talk about the real reasons why I think or why I know that your month end close is taking longer than you would want it to be. And so one thing that I would say, one reason that I can for sure tell you is making your month end close long is that you don't have a standardized month end closing list. Just simple as that. Many people assume that as people settle in their roles, as accountants settle in their roles, as program managers settle in their roles, they know what they need to do, which is true because they probably know what they need to do. But when it comes to checking off at the end of the month, especially whether it's a lean team or a large team, there must be task ownership. There must be a relay of how things work to the point that you have closed your reporting period, the reporting period is reviewed, and the reports are run as they should be. And if this is not outlined properly, and if team members are not aligned to the task that they need, that there is task ownership and there are correct and agreed deadlines as to when things are supposed to be done, then definitely everybody will be running around and there will be blame game, and you'll end up always having firefighting every month trying to close your month. Uh, Obviously late, with errors, with corrections and everything. So for me, that's one of the things I feel and I know usually makes it messy to have your month closed in time. The other thing that I know, your number two, is that your financial data is in too many places. For example, we know what is required as we go towards the close of the month. You know that you need to do your reconciliations. You know you need that there are verifications that needs to be done. There are ledgers that needs to be reconciled. And so if this documentation is not kept in a place where everybody who needs to access that documentation can be able to access them so that they have the correct information they need to perform the reconciliations and the month-end cleanups, then definitely your team is spending more time than they should in completing the task. So you just want to make sure that your filing and your central uh, filing system is set up in a way that everybody is able to access all the information that they need to facilitate their work in a timely manner. Then number three, one thing that sometimes it's out of control of the finance team is that there is very slow movement in terms of approvals. Let's say you're working on a system or you're even working with a manual system, but you are depending on other people to do your approvals before you can close, before you can post items into your system. And sometimes you find that approvals are just sitting in maybe the program director's email and they are not paying attention to it because you have not sensitized them of your timelines and the support you need from them to be able to meet your target, which is month end, timely month end close. So it's one thing that derails the process because most of the time you find somebody seated back saying, I'm waiting for an approval. It is the 5th of every month, and your policy says that by the 7th of every month, you should have done your reconciliations and the reports are being reviewed for closeout. So just the part that the approvals move so slowly can be a pain for the finance team in making sure that the financial period is closed on a timely manner as required. Then your number four reason why your month end is close is dragging is the fact that your system, and more specifically your chart of accounts, is working against you. Why do I say so? You find that in most cases, especially for the young organizations, the growing organizations, or the emerging non-profits, and even sometimes the not so small organizations, they sought to use the generic chart of account that comes with the system. Let's say they are using QuickBooks or maybe Business Central, and they did not take time to pay attention to how they want to align their chart of accounts. How do you set up your general journal or ledger entries in such a way that your chart of accounts is speaking to your grants or your donor codes, and is speaking to your budget codes, and is speaking to all the or your goals, all the parameters that you will need to report on at the end of the reporting period. And so you find that once the data is posted in the system, then somebody has to painfully extract them and do very many Excel formulas and workings so that you can finally be able to get a report. So, but you just know that if you set up your systems, especially your chart of accounts and your dimensions, in a way that you can be able to work on other system integrations to push out your reports as you need, then definitely you'll be able to close your finances in a good time. But because you have not set your chart of accounts and your system in a way that it optimizes your needs, then definitely you will end up spending more time trying to run around your figures and to make sense out of the postings and the financial data that you have. And then finally, your number five reason is that there is a lot of manual work that is eating your finance system. So one thing is usually that maybe you have a system that is half implemented, or you have a system that is implemented, but you are not leveraging on all the capabilities of the system. And so you find there is a lot of manual work that comes with accounting work and reporting work. And so at the end of the day, it's just a painful process. And of course, it's never going to be easy that you will make it to your deadline for the month end. So, but this is the painful truth for sure. Uh, Most of the time, the reason your month end close is delaying is not a people problem. You may be having a good team, very motivated team, but they are still not be able to close the month as required by your policies or by your stakeholders. I believe that usually it is more of a system and a process problem. And so I want us to talk about how do we fix it? How do we fix this problem? What have I done as an industry leader, as a practitioner, as an head of finance to try to fix and to minimize some of these challenges? Um, One of the things that I do is I create a 5 day closing schedule. What does a 5 day closing schedule look like for the team? I make sure that I have outlined very clear tasks, that all these tasks have their owners, so everybody has an ownership to the task that they need to take. And I've also set clear deadlines so that each day has specific activities and nothing rolls over. That way, it is a rolling event and it's not just a month end event. Step two is that I also build a centralized month end database room. If you are lucky enough to have an organization that has implemented a filing system or a file share system that enables everyone to collaborate, good for you. So you can be able to leverage on those platforms like Google Drives for those who use the Google platform, or like Teams channels for those who are on the Microsoft platform. So just create channels dedicated to your month and close. That data is stored there, and everybody is able to get everything they need at the click of their mouse. And then also standardizing your templates. For your templates that you need to use for all your reports, that these are standardized and you are not creating new templates every month. Even if there are templates that you need for uploading data into your system. For example, I know Microsoft Business Central, for organizations that use those ones, they are very big on templates and upload templates and configuration packages. So just making sure that there is clarity in the use and everybody is trained well on how to use this one, so that it is just a flowing process every time somebody needs to upload things in the system and have reviews. And of course, like I said, fix your chart of accounts, align the reporting to your programs, your donors, all the parameters that you need, your locations versus countries, your cost centers, and then of course your natural accounts, which is your GL code. So a good chart of accounts will definitely have a coding that has a good flow and also improves your reporting accuracy. And then this number five step is that introduce a daily mini close. What does a daily mini close mean? So a daily mini close means that you are reviewing your transactions as they are posted. You're not waiting for the end of the month to uh, conduct a full review. You are reviewing and picking out errors as early as they occur, and these are adjusted. You have clear control accounts that you can check, and these are reconciled in time. And then the month end, then the month, now that your month that you're doing this as the month goes by, then now your month end close is kind of a continuous consolidation, and so not like a rescue mission on the fifth of the date that you're supposed to do your reporting. But now that I've spoken about this, why does it really matter that we keep talking about reporting clarity? Because your end month close is the foundation of your organization's financial credibility. When your close is fast and clean, and is predictable, and people can rely that they'll find data from you, then your board will trust your numbers, obviously. Then also your donors will view you as a high performing partner because you are always forthcoming with the reporting that they need. Your programs can rely on the data. They can perform their forecast. They can see and course correct as they implement. And also you elevate just from being transactional as finance to being strategic, because now you free yourself from manual repetitive tasks to starting to use this data to advise your stakeholders better. So a slow close definitely shows inefficiency, and a clean fast close shows excellence, and excellence attracts funding. So as a not for profit, definitely that's something you want to pay attention to. But here is the opportunity that most non-profit leaders miss, because a consistently fast month and close is one of the strongest predictors of long-term organizational growth and sustainability. So when you close your month consistently, you unlock better forecasting, like I said before. You also gain better donor confidence. You identify cash risk earlier so that you are able to put mitigating measures. You prevent compliance issues. And then finally, you also improve decision making, because data is always available for the decisions that needs to be made across the resource allocations. So in short, what I'm saying is a better month-end process makes your organization future ready. This is why top performing international NGOs or even local NGOs invest heavily in financial systems strengthening, because they know that internal excellence always precedes external impact. And so here's what I want you to do next. Go and download or customize your month-end checklist, something that resonates to the way you operate as an organization. Set up your centralized shared folder for your finance team so that they can be able to get the information that they need to conduct their work. Review your chart of accounts and make sure your system is set in a way that it optimizes um, the system itself and also what you need to report on as a head of finance. Introduce weekly mini closes so that it is a continuous process and not a month end scramble. And if you want help in implementing this to your organization, I've put together a resource called the Reporting Clarity Insight. It's a deep dive session that helps nonprofits leaders identify their reporting bottlenecks and fix them fast. So yeah, here is what I want you to remember at the end of this video: that you deserve a finance function that works, that your team deserves systems that support their work, not frustrate them, that your donors deserve timely, accurate reports that they can trust. I want you also to remember that your mission deserves a finance structure strong enough to sustain it. Month end is not just an accounting exercise. It is where your organization clarity is born, and that is very important. Because where financial leadership is proven, where trust is built, and when this is all right, then your entire organization elevates. So if you found this video useful for you today, you can like, you can subscribe, and you can also share with other non-profit finance leaders so that we continue building these standards together. Thank you.